He found me one morning while I was searching the endless heavens, while I did not know what it was that I was even searching for, or that I was even searching for anything at all. Maybe it was to occupy a void within where wonder and delight should have found residence, but instead had fled the scene like criminals, like fugitives from the policing of the passage of time and of age. He found me in such a state. Was it pity then that he took on me? Was it pity then when he whispered to me? Was it pity then sharing his secrets with me? The unbroken silence that followed his arrival presence shouted, I pity none and no one. I have chosen you. And I whispered to an empty, lightless room, I have found what I knew not that which I was looking for. The Father of Shadows has found me at last. There is no surface to this world, a spherical shadow, yet flawless in shape, yet occupies endless emptiness, madness, and silences the howl, the wind, the gaping maw, depths of secret chasms. Erebus addresses me thus. Would one so lost desire to be mine avatar? Would one so desperate leave himself behind? Would one be so wounded, unable to recover? When Erebus finished his imago, there was of where I was and what I was. I desire, desperate and wounded, I answer. Silence. Sanity. Then answer. What is the shadow a shadow casts? I do not. You do indeed. Answer. Share with me what you know is truth. It is this that called to me across the infinite galaxies and the devoid distances between you and I. And all at once, as if I'd known all along, the shadow of a shadow is absence. There must be a presence and light for its black likeness to appear. Yet with no presence and no light, the shadow can only cast a nothing and can only speak of emptiness and shows nothing but absence. Erebus replied, It is so. Even the shadows have their nightmares. Only the shadows know nightmares, for we are neither present nor absent. We are, and we spoke in unison then, the dark where that which does not exist ends, and the light where everything that is begins. And I became him, and Erebus became me. There at last was my star, ordinary among those celestia, and ancient enough to have seen worlds begin anew like newborns, birthed from nothing, miraculous, and suns, stars collapse into singularities miraculous, and mark the passage of time by supernova and supernova thereafter. Yet in those eons, too many to number, she had still yet to have ever have seen me, a perfect yellow furnace casting its light in every direction, but her radiation, illumination, could never shine upon me. Still, I knew she was there, with her presence and shadow together as one in me. Prograde, I spin with her, always facing her, and still she has not seen my features, my true face, nor will she, but mark this. There is always hope within the shadow, and hope never was seen among the heavens, yet we know it is there with us. What then is my mission? Now that I am here, now that I am a soul-made shadow.
The Homunculus, the Ouroboros Reborn. 1. The Misshapen Clay. Misanthrope by equal parts, design and choice. Distorted voice. Imaginary alchemy brought this homunculus to life. 5 false images the influences accidentally injure. If only Paracelsus could see me now, as an imperfect creature, a creation of somatosensory arranged by amateurs, and a misaligned motor. This homunculus sees itself and falls into the sleep of transformation. 2. The first dream. I am Zosimos again. Ion calls out to me, asks me if I submit. I must change, I must transform, I must submit. The priest of inner sanctuaries murders me. Violence articulated and the viscera is immolated. The anthroparian arrives. 3. The second dream, the purification. Echoes, darkness, questioning, so many, but only one. The voice asks, are you not just the composition of the waters that bind you? Am I? The answer does not present itself. I return to the pyre as Zosimos once again. Agatha demon of silver comes forth. The waters of the wilderness sicken and pollute and betray its purpose. To bring life, I answer. He holds forth his hand, heated metal. I must be cleansed. I must be distilled. Sacrifice. The hand enters my dysenteried heart. Sacred chemistry. The purified waters steam and dissipate. Only the arsenic and the filth remain. 4. The Ouroboros reborn. A truth of change, then. There is the safe torment of constancy and accustomed agony. And then there is the suffering of separation, pulling that part retained from the discarded remains, the ashes, the fragments, the poison, the contagion. The homunculus perishes, the dragon that devours itself and becomes new. I am Zosimos, Ion, Agatha demon all at once. I awake. I am no longer I am them.
Our house was emptier.
Presence uncalculated.
Empty.
Before a moment when it's only lonely.
Presence
Estimated.
of absence.
A betrayal of emotions.
Uncalculated.
Shared.
Unanticipated.
They are all
For remaining moment is a whisper when
of
it's to
absence
avoid
and unanticipated. Remaining
only
is a
lonely
whisper to
shared
avoid shared
fate,
fate within echoes,
estimated
memories,
within echoes,
secret and sacred, shadows of shelves,
a betrayal,
conjugate,
memories,
necrotic hearts,
emotions,
the onyx ink,
secret and sacred,
black,
shared shadows of selves can conjugate open wounds, necrotic hearts. They are the onyx.
The Carcosa Diaries. Part 1. The Acolyte. On this, the first day of someone else's new year, I start my journals. Books, more like diaries written in the shadow of a forbidden planet on a forgotten moon. Call it my Carcosa. Yes, my heaven is unnatural and not yours, but mine. Mine to behold alone
and then try to convey, with forgotten forms, words vaguely elevated from prosaic to poet's codes. But in these I meet you in my own true form, which I never forget. I just never fully formed myself. But here, I am ready to recite these Carcosan diaries as I arrive on its shores. 2. Days undefinable, time irrelevant. These were someone else's. Upon their new year I started. That marking was for you, to mark a temporal north. But you won't need that here with me. You won't need to hold on to anything. Time is a fascist, time is a master, time is a forced march, time is a prison, time is two forevers scheming against you and always. Here we with amaranthine eyes, under amethyst skies, recall first, here forgetting is obliterating, so we disremember decay and despair, here thought and emotion are undying and never are forgot. I twice read Inhabitant, and couldn't, for the life of me, fathom why Ambrose could consider Carcosa cold and confusing, or why his dweller was so distraught. Trepidation at the memory of the king in yellow, for I sought him and found him over and over again. He is never as far nor never as near for me residing in a paranoid temple. The sounds there speak of prosaic madness, angles in such profane curves, geometric sickness disturbs, and I go there still. Despite what I know will capture me, I make no attempt to evade. Hastur allows me to exist, he is generous in our exile. Twisted and warped and undone and remade, and when he vanishes and vacates my view, he always turns and pulls back his giant yellow hood and shows me my face, another face. He has taken each more misshapen and alien than the one before. It makes it all so easy. Friends, family, lovers, you should not be here. The air is foul, and the company fouler. A mass is held. Above our skies, one heaven for each disciple of the order. None are the same, and yet they all occupy the same sacred profane height. The result is cacophony, pandemonium, discord, and strife. This disciple speaks blasphemy. He kneels upon the writhing growth, dancing upon the ground. He finds a stone in his hand and mashes out his teeth at me, drawn by a smile of blood dripping from both sides of his mouth. The disciple only hears untruth. She throws her palms to the air at having heard the sound and cups them one to each ear, then tears from them her head, for nothing will ever sound purer. She stuffs them into their canals. This disciple sees the unspeakable. The very sight distorts his pupils with delusion, and he loses his bowels. The contents run down his legs and down his knees. He reaches down, and with 2 cups full, he smears it into his eyes. Each member does each their own. In worship they show penitence and cry. And then a sign. The high priests gyrate and twist and combust and split in snakes. 3 for each, and each for 3 they form the shape, and the shape becomes them. And with a snap, beneath a chaos heaven and above demon brass, each rails the air and pierces each pituitary, and every mind is split. Their brains erupt in bone and blood, and there is silence. The bodies make no noise as their corpses drop to the ground. The tentacles return and reform the high priests. It is morning, and the sky is black in Carcosa. Plump, lazy flies drunk with the blood of the disciples. The mass is over. 7 is the last. 7 is my number. 7 is truth, and here I will speak it. 7 is the last of who I was. I roamed Carcosa freely and was welcomed. I was comforted by its alien landscapes, its violations of the laws of nature. I feel safe in its uncertainty and true identity in being faceless and lost. I become a disciple. At my mass, I tore up the writhing vegetation and stuffed as much as I could inside my mouth. I found dust under a rock and inhaled it until it bore a hole in my skull. I murdered a disciple and drank his ichor and took his nightmares from him. I chewed my fingers and ate them to the knuckles. And then he chose me. I bathed in the ecstasy of pure madness, no reason, no rusted iron chains of thought. I felt myself, for I was many before I came here. Blasted into disorder, out of the entropy, I am reformed. I've died and died and died and died again, but now I am pure. The final entry of this acolyte. High priest. All as aphasia after Icenia, the lightning stroke struck with an acolyte initiated as thus. One is left as numb, the backs of knuckles scribble sketching pencil, paper white into black as the backs of knuckles skinning smashing bones, grave gray into gore, crimson. There is no longer an I if there ever was. Could no longer conceive of one, a singular, a who, a whom, or me. There is only us together. We sit as inversions, individual perversions of a life afforded, a soul distorted, chanting in saffron, lips as perpetual motion machines. We cast aspersions, our disordered conversions of the time disjointed, history distorted, chanting in saffron, his yellow, shouting in saffron, our yellow, Carcosa is eternal and forever and unyielding. It is almost mass. We select our new disciples to disperse and degrade into power. I can see you. Standing there with your black, so black, blasphemous black eyes, hair, fingers among the masses. You came. I come. I accept you are followed. Prepared? There is no feast, for your senses fail as the obsidian sun falls behind forest and fields, tossed, twisted, and turning. Are you sure? We emerge from our twilight slumber again. This disciple came for what is left of me. She doesn't belong. And reaches for my face, and with her gentle finger she touches. Screams, no salvation, no rescues here. As mandible tentacles, numbering pentacles, reach from underneath my unhuman visage. As I said, my child, I am no longer he, his, her, here I am, they, them, us, we, words, together. This disciple reaches, and all is ochre, magenta, and ooze. The membrane collapses, black, so black eyes, hair's finger in mine. The sirens blare, the sky trembles. The Carcosa night sky inverts to pallid pale white. The blue sphere of distant earth is seen, pitiful, unknown. Pastor has seen there is mating, two within many, how many, infinite is just a word. A finite expression for something we cannot. A wedding then, within the order. There will be no mass. Disorder dream, sun till they are bay. The king says, I preside there of them then. Pastor himself sits upon an entropy throne. We are called forth. The throne room blasphemous nexus. Yellow robes, darkened-faced, hints at space inverted to perverted, meaninglessness, then undone, and forgotten precious memories. Love. What is done has no language to describe.
He speaks. Mate and marriage in the air shall be. Trunks of elephants, black and glistening, penetrate us and pull us into contact. Skewered meats, and our flesh grows slick. The minds and organs join, we become chaos made flesh. The separation begins. I am new, I am become. I am new again and again and again and again and again. Again. Agony is only just the word. And then he speaks again. I have been made new. Behold the air. Behold the new yellow king. Disappear, Haster. I have become thee. Disappear, Haster. I have become thee. Disappear, Haster. I have become thee. I sit upon the entropy throne, obsidian pandemonium, wild demonia. I reach into universes, spin planets like toy tops. Darkness, puncture hole, power. I see you. Sitting there. I could feel you. Sitting there. I call you to me. Become acolyte. Cerebellum echoes. And rings and echoes come to me. All hail the yellow king. Ice pick sunlight, a blue sky, the smell of neglect. Barefoot footsteps, cold bathroom door, bottles purple. Empty and four. Bag paper brown on the floors. There is still more. Powder, white, withstand light. The gateway can open for me. Again. Prayer, drink, inhale. The spell is cast again. This world is my true hell. I return to my love, my purple Carcosa. My number is 7. I return to my only chaos.
It might be over soon.
Where you gonna look for confirmation? And if it's ever gonna happen. So as I'm standing at the station, it might be over soon. There I found you marked in constellations, and there isn't ceiling in our garden. And then I draw an ear on you, so I can speak into the silence.
It might be over soon.
And then you expelled all decision. As I may stand